2 a.m. A district hospital in the Papua New Guinea highlands. A UN volunteer is on a night shift, and the grandma on bed 6 is trying to tell her something. She tries English, nothing. Momar, nothing. She opens the Translate app and scrolls. It has never heard of this language. No app has. The grandmother is speaking one of 15,000 languages across Indonesia and Papua New Guinea. Most have never been written down, and the machine can't learn a language that nobody has ever transcribed. It's not neglect, it's arithmetic. 10 hours of expert work for every 1 hour of speech, and the experts barely exist. 54% of languages are endangered. Nobody could hear that night. No one ever will unless we speak her language. We're Team Astra. We built the button that writes it down.
Under the hood, Totala AI is 4 layers, and they spell 4 R's: record, recognize, review, and retain. 3 implementation steps, and community ownership holding it all up. It begins as a data collection and analysis tool, building on precedents like Lig Icon. It handles elicitation from word lists and images into speaking, where a speaker slowly re-records the original audio so we can get a clean parallel signal that's ideal for training. Everything is captured with metadata at 16 kHz, the standard for speech models, stored on the device, and synced when a signal appears. Through a combination of sentiment and semantic analysis, we ensure Totala captures not only the words, but its spirit and intent to encourage communal linguistic engagement. Recognize is the hard part. A language with a few thousand speakers can't produce the thousands of hours AI demands. So our ASR4LD approach fine-tunes pre-trained foundation models on just a few transcribed hours of the target language. That's what makes our low language resource feasible. Totala will be released publicly as a transcription and translation service for NGOs, helping to reduce the language barriers and congestion of filling out forms and communicating with local populations in both directions. We lower the comprehension barrier for NGO workers so they can help out local communities who struggle with English language forms. Totala would undergo continuous training and continuous development, refining our understanding, as well as keeping up with how language evolves. Review is where the community takes over. The model drafts a transcript, a community member corrects it, which research shows is faster than transcribing from scratch, and builds paid local skills instead of replacing them. Every correction acts as new training data, so each next draft is better. The IA drafts, the community decides, and the system improves because people used it. Which brings us to the layer that everything stands on: community ownership. Over half these languages are endangered, so we follow the CARE principles for indigenous data governance. Recordings stay encrypted on community-controlled storage, under licenses the community sets. The language stays with its people.
So why should we care about human rights and cultural identity? Language is not just words. It is an encyclopedia of human wisdom throughout history. When an elder dies and their language vanishes, an entire ecosystem of knowledge disappears. What we're doing is we enable generations to retain the right to access their native culture and connect to their ancestors even if they migrate to industrialized cities. By increasing the efficiency and pace of language documentation, painting local trainees with a self-improving ASR model, transcription that once took months can now happen in weeks. This frees researchers to focus on analysis, grammar building, and pedagogy instead of transcription. It also means smaller, under-resourced language communities that are less likely to attract well-funded research teams can finally get access to the same documentation speed.
We also incentivize partnership. Standard research projects extract data and leave nothing behind. We do the opposite, so that young local trainees are paid to correct the drafts, learn digital skills while the model learns their language. We get to have widespread community engagement as well, because locals become active and paid developers of their own digital future. Researchers contribute linguistic methods while the local communities bring in their own voices, and the skills retain when the grant ends. Our last impact is tackling inclusivity. Feeding recordings of native speakers into commercial clouds like Google or OpenAI extracts indigenous intellectual property without consent. So we made that impossible. The model and every recording are owned entirely by the community and encrypted on physical local servers. Consent is recorded and can be revoked, and speakers can delete their own voices. The database cannot be patented, monetized, or locked behind a corporate paywall.